Hello to those listening. This is the Freeze of Speech. And this time, I want to talk about Robert E. Lee. Now, to begin, I want to start with a quote from George Santayana. Okay, I'm probably pronouncing this word name wrong, but you can see the name yourself. Maybe you can do better saying it than I can. Now, the quote I want to talk about is those who cannot remember the past are condemned to repeat it. Now, this is a very powerful statement that a lot of people misunderstand or blatantly misuse. And what I mean by that is when people look at history, they look at either something good or something bad, and they stop right there. Nobody, most people don't stop to examine the reason for why something came to be. They just say this is a being and bad. But again, whether you see a positive or negative in some action in history, a society must agree to it. And whether the society agrees to it through manipulation or social order or social need, when you look in the past, you need to look at the processes that brought about that mindset that gave you that positive or negative end result. Now, I want you to remember what I'm saying here, and I'm going to go over to this article in the New Journal Guide. It's about the revised methods fact about Robert E. Lee. Now, the link will be below so you can actually read the article for yourself. I'm not going to read the article, but I'm going to give a quick summation. It takes quotes that he says and says that, well, he was not against slavery, he was for it, and he was a dick. So, there. Now, the quote in here that I want to use is the same quote that the author talks about. I have it highlighted. And the quote says, in Robert Lee's own words, blacks are immeasurably better off here than in Africa, morally, socially, and physically. The painful discipline they are undergoing is necessary for their instruction as a race, and I hope will prepare them, lead them to better things. How long their subjugation may be necessary is known and ordered by a wise, merciful providence. Their emancipation will sooner result from the mild and melting influence of Christianity than storms and tempests of fiery controversy. Now, like I said, throughout the rest of the article, it's just he's a bad person, blah, blah, blah. But these words here that he says in his own words pretty much gives you a glimmer into the way he saw things in his time. You see, to say Robert E. Lee is against slavery is true. And at the same time, to say he's for slavery is also true. As humans, we can't hold contradictory things simultaneously. We are not like animals. You see, when a rabbit and a fox see each other, the rabbit knows it needs to run for its life, and the fox knows it needs to run for its life. Though the rabbit is trying to survive to see the next day, the fox is trying to eat it so it can survive to the next day. It's very blatant. And this is where a lot of people mess up when it comes to not examining history. But in this one little paragraph, it gives you a really good sense of the world he grew up in. In the beginning of in this paragraph, when it talks about how the blacks are better off here than Africa, he's actually 100% right. The thing that people seem to either willfully or not willfully be ignorant about is that slavery is an economic model. It has nothing to do with race or sexism or any other reason you can think of. It's about profit, period. And those people in Africa, another mistake that people seem to make, either again through ignorance or just being willfully ignorant. They pretend like Africa is a continental nation, but that was incorrect. Africa is a nation. I mean, Africa is a continent of nations, not a national continent. They war with each other. They fight with each other. Different factions of different regions have different goals. So when these African tribes fight amongst themselves, guess what? They fight over the one thing that everybody always fights over: resources. So when they defeat their enemies, the people who would then later on become slaves, if not for the slave trade, no black person alive today whose family did not immigrate here would be alive today, because every last one of those people that were their ancestors would be dead. The slave trade gave them value. Every person on that boat that came across, every person that was on every plantation, every person sold in the market was a dead man, woman, or child walking. So when he says they're better off in America than Africa, he's 100% true. Now, we need to get down to merciful providence, because the person brings this up later on, article if you read it. But what we really do have is the fact of Christianity come to play. Again, another instance where you look through history, religion is the justification for doing all kind of shenanigans. But everybody likes to ghost past that part. When he talks about merciful providence for Christianity, he is talking about the way he sees the world. He sees the fact that bringing these people from one country to another, even though they're slaves, they can become the non-primitive, hell-bound beings they are. They can become civilized Christians and gain salvation through Jesus Christ. Where would he learn this? He would learn in the church, because in that time frame, the church was the center of the community. Everybody went to church every day. It's what you did. The church told you slavery is okay, because in the Bible, slavery is okay. The church told you you're better than them because you have Christianity and come from a better society. He had this reinforced in him from childhood. His behavior makes sense for the time frame he comes from. And people want to throw shade. He was part of the Confederacy, yada yada. But the thing is, when you look at the Confederacy, the average man who was on the battlefield was not there for slavery, because slavery didn't benefit them. They didn't have slaves. Their fathers didn't have slaves. Their children will never have slaves. Why would they fight? Well, you see a parallel today. That's said, and that parallel is people in the North look at people at the South as inferior. Now, I don't know about you, but if somebody came to me with a haughty attitude, looking down on me as if I am inferior to them, even if they was telling me something that I know is right and true, the odds of me listening to them are maybe 10%. And I'm saying maybe, and that means I'm in a drunken stupor. That's the everyman. So, I'm going to wrap this up like this. Instead of these people arguing over a statue for the umpteenth time, maybe, just maybe, some of these people may want to crack open a book. Maybe read some of his letters. Maybe read some of the letters from the other people during the Civil War. Look at the time frame he came in, and then maybe they'll have a greater grasp of the situation, instead of seeing Robert E. Lee as just this evil bad guy. Maybe they'll just see him as a man who lived in the world that he was born in. And that's all I got for right now. This is the freest of speech. Thanks for listening.